Welcome back to group chat because we know it goes down in the group chat. If you're new here, my name is Cynthia. I'm a licensed therapist and coach, and we have another submission. We're going to call her Kimmy. She says, let me say this. If you are interested in being featured in the group chat series, you can send an email to groupchathtns@gmail.com. Kimmy says, I just started following your channel, maybe a little over a month ago, and I really enjoy it. I love that you are honest and unafraid to address topics that might cause people to criticize you, and they do, etc. As you mentioned, some people have done. Even so, you are pushing past it and doing what you can to help other women. I love your confidence and you're beautiful. Thank you so much. Please keep doing what you're doing to uplift and empower women. Blessings to you too, Kimmy. Okay, so here's my group chat question or concern. I'm going to try to keep it as concise as possible. A few years ago, I met a man on Match.com, but come to find out he was a pastor. He hid this initially. I only found out because he has written a book, and the back of the book said pastor. He was attractive, smart, athletic, chocolate, and all the things I like, but he was narcissistic, controlling, manipulative, etc. He was worse than any carnal man I've ever... Hey! Side note, off topic, let me tell you, let me say this. The men that have treated me the best have been Muslim. They haven't been Christian. I don't know anybody else's experience, but I'm gonna put that out there, okay? And like she said, worse than any carnal man I've ever dated. When he found he couldn't control me, mind you, this was a very volatile relationship. Nothing physically abusive occurred, but the verbal and emotional components were there. I literally had to pray my way out of this relationship. When I would break up with him, he would call me 1,000 times back to back. You need a restraining order. He threatened to ruin my life, the whole nine. It was horrible. Okay, so he started dating someone during the same time he was dating me. I found out from the church website. My Lord. And of course, he always lied. She was African, so he said he was helping her with something. This went on for a couple of years. Silly me. That's what love can do sometimes. That's not love. Anyway, they got engaged 2 years ago, and this year she moved in with him and his 2 boys. Okay, here's the issue. He was going to lead a new church last year. The church posted that he was going to be their new pastor, and they advertised his ordination, etc. The next thing I know, they posted that his ordination was canceled, but they didn't give an explanation. After a few weeks, they had other ministers preaching for them, and I think they landed on me. I saw this as God sitting him down, but the story goes on. With this being the case, he is no longer the pastor of the church, but I still see him being a guest speaker at different churches from time to time. His fiancée stood in the pulpit to introduce him at one of these speaking engagements, and during her acknowledgement of him and how he is as a great minister, she stated he's an awesome lover and he's my lover. In the church, and they not married? I was like, wow, I've never seen anyone do that. Now, let me ask you this. Why were you there? Why were you there? I thought it was inappropriate, but that's me. She never said she was his wife. Yeah, that's a lot. Okay, I tried to give as much detail as I could without overwhelming you. Baby doll, we good. So here it is. I'm just baffled by the fact that other ministers support this kind of behavior. And there's a part of me that's talking to God and asking why this man, in all of his horribleness, gets to have a fiance and go, you meant unpunished for his behavior. But there are people, women, trying to do the right thing and treating these men good. But us having a husband seems to be so challenging. It's confusing and frustrating. Let me tell you something. And I told my girlfriend this just the last week. I said the church is the only place that people, I was talking about men in particular, but that people can do all kind of things and they can still be in the pulpit. You know why? Because we as a congregation and a church, we allow it. Oh, they repented to God, they're redeemed, those type of things. But you know what? Sometimes you could go out there, do something you ain't got no business doing. You can sin. The Bible says all have sinned and fallen short. That's very true. But sometimes you need to sit down, and as people, we got to stop supporting people who are living their life any kind of way. We have to. Because I'm even questioning why, if she's in the pulpit. Now, I don't know if you were there or not, but my thing is, if I dated a minister, and I have, and he ain't do me right, and he didn't, he can't be nowhere near close. I don't care where he's ministering. I'm not going to be there. This was grossly inappropriate. But let me keep going. I know there's a part of me that's angry because it seems unfair, but I'll get over it eventually. As the last note, he's been calling me ever since. He's been, in a relationship with her. And of course, he was calling her when he was with me because it all overlaps. This persisted until I learned of an app that will help me. Over the last year, he's been still calling during all times of night and day, and I haven't done. Where do you live? Where do you live? I had to get a restraining order, sugar. I had to get a restraining order. I don't play these games. No, I don't play. This persisted till I learned of an app that would help me. Over the last year, he's been calling during all times of day and night, and I haven't done anything with him in over a year. I put him in the app to block him so he can't get through, although I can see that he called. I know I should stop trying to find out what he's doing and will. Okay, yes. But how does a church support a pastor and a live-in girlfriend being a guest speaker at their church? Can you ask a pastor for his opinion or her opinion? I'm just curious. I will. I'm sorry. I'm just reading this now, but I definitely will. I know my concern might seem a little awkward, but it's very hurtful when you meet a man that's supposed to be of God and he turns out to be anything but that in private, but fools everyone publicly. It's also damaging from a spiritual place. If a woman is new to faith and having a relationship with God, this type of behavior could push her away from anything spiritual. So there is a negative impact that's much greater than a relationship gone bad. I truly hope this message finds you, and thanks in advance. Okay. She's part of the membership. All right, sweetie. Kimmy. We're gonna call you Kimmy. So this is very loaded, but this is what I would say. I want to address the resentment first. And I've said this in another video before. Women are very forgiving. So men can move on into romantic relationships with women because women are very forgiving. What was his name? Remember, I don't know if you know of him, but there was a man, his mugshot came out. His name is Jeremy Meeks. And his mugshot came out to the point where women were chasing after him, showing up at visitation. And he had to say, like, stop coming up here. You come up here for visitation. It takes away from my child coming up here. So when my child comes up here, I can't see my baby because y'all keep coming up here. Women are very forgiving. There is a woman on TikTok whose man that she's engaged to planned a whole shooting, he planned a mass shooting. He recently got released. She got engaged to him. Unfortunately, the Bible talks about silly women, and there are some silly women. I don't know if the church that invited him knew that he was living with the woman. I don't know if they knew that she was going to introduce him and say that. I think she may have said that because maybe she knew about you, and so she was taking a shot at you. But I think it's really important for you to disengage with his life and then focus on your life. Just because somebody is in a relationship, first of all, doesn't mean that God ordained, doesn't mean it's healthy. She may be going through the very things behind closed doors that you went through. So I think you have to challenge yourself and do the work, the healing work, to figure out, why am I missing a man who I know is abusive? Who I said is narcissistic and manipulative, verbally, emotionally abusive. Why do I want or long for him? You are too invested in him. And you may not even be invested in him as it relates to him as a person, but invested in him as it relates to the promise. Because many Christian girlies will get and start dating men. We automatically start thinking about marriage. And so you are more focused on the marriage thing than the relationship thing because you want to be married. And that's something that I picked up here because you're talking about, why would God essentially allow him to have a fiance? I'm living right and I don't have it. And this is the thing. Living right doesn't guarantee us that God will give us a man. We live right because that's our reasonable service unto the Lord. Not for us to get anything, okay? No, his word did say, he come that we may have life and life more abundantly. It's in the word. And I believe that God wants us to have a rich and abundant life. But if you still focus on that man, how God gonna send you your man? Could it be that you ain't got no man yet because you still focused on what he doing? Could that be what it is? God like, girl, I'm trying to send you a man. I'm trying to see. She keep praying to me. She's praying, speaking in tongues, she fasting, she all of that for a man, but she ain't let that one go. I'm not gonna send my son to have to wrestle with a man that wasn't good. A man, the Bible said the sons of Sceva, okay, when they had went over to do the deliverance, the son, they said, Paul I know, Jesus I know, but who are you? Okay, and I'm saying that because Jesus up there talking about, so Lord, she want me to send this man, but she's still focused on the false man. So your man trying to get to you, but he can't get to you because you're still focused on the false man. The one who said he was of God. Many are chosen, few are called. What did it say? Just because he showed up like an angel of light, don't mean that's what it. Come on, I'm trying to tell you something. He called himself a man of God. So when we realize that somebody calling themselves something they not, we just need to move around. Okay, that would just be like if I'm introduce myself to you, I'm like, girl, I'm a cow. You could be like, that girl, something wrong with her. And then if you start believing me, and I'm talking about a cow, I'm talking about some moo, and I'm eating grass. Now, which one of us is truly a fool? Okay, all right. So when we see situations with people who say that they are a Christian, but they don't have the fruits, there is no evidence, we got to move around. We got to slow down. I just want to get to know. And then when we realize that's not who they are, we got to go away. We don't have to stay there. And this is the thing. This has taken up years of your life. Forgive this man and move on. It may not be that God is withholding something from you, because he said no good thing will he withhold from them, right? That's what the words say. It may not be that he's holding it back from you. It may very well be that you aren't ready for it and you haven't prepared a space and a place for it in your heart and in your soul, because your mind is across town. Your body where it's at, but your mind across town. Y'all remember that song? Put that song in the comments. Okay? So listen, and I get you. I understand when it's like, what if this was a baby Christ? Well, we bless the Lord that it wasn't. We bless the Lord that it wasn't. And we pray that everyone would be protected from a man like this. But sister, what you got to do is focus on you. Even in the T-Mobile app where it says, where you get notification that he's blocked you, I think you also need to get to place. I don't have T-Mobile. I got AT&T. If they blocked on my phone, I don't know. Because guess what? If I block a man on my phone and I see that he called me and I know he blocked, that's going to do something to my ego. Oh, he want me real bad. He wants some of this caramel delight. So it's still reinforcing. You have to cut all ties to the point where you don't know if girl, change your phone number. If you can. I know some people you can. I block people from my phone. I don't change my phone number because I got clients. And I want my clients, even if it's 10 years from now, to be able to get in touch with me if they need me as it relates to a therapist. But for you, unless you got a situation like that, you need to change your phone number so he can't even reach out to you anymore. There should be no contact. Whatever circle he's a part of, you don't need to be a part of that circle. Wherever he's speaking, you need to stop watching his life. Listen, he gonna reap what he sow, she gonna reap what they sow, and that's none of your business. The Bible said God is not man that he shall lie, or the son of man that he shall repent. If his word say you go reap what you sow, he go reap it. Just because he got a fiance does not mean that his life is well. You have to also look at and consider the inner turmoil that somebody has, how they can be miserable. How they can be miserable. I think it takes a miserable person to lie, to manipulate, to hurt somebody else. He is whatever it is going on the inside of him that had him treat you that way, like that to me, that's a person that I pity. He can't even experience love. He can't give true love. He can't. And so I think for you, the best thing for you to do, you may need to schedule a coaching session so that I can work with you, so I can help you. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and make this announcement here. I have it, well, by the time I post it to you. Anyway, I'm going to do let me get my calendar. On May the 2nd, I'm going to do a healing from heartbreak course. Okay. Stay tuned for more details because it's going to come up. It's going to be a course where I'm going to teach, and then I'm going to open it up for Q&A so that you can get your questions answered. Replay will be available if you can't join us on April 2nd. It will probably, May 2nd, forgive me, May 2nd. It'll be May 2nd at noon Eastern. So for my East Coast girlies, because I know y'all woke up early for group coaching, it'll be 9 a.m. on the East Coast, 11 a.m. Central, and then 12 p.m. Eastern. And then for my girlies in Europe, it'll be in the evening. I know in Germany we're 6-hour difference, so it'll probably be 6 p.m. Eastern in Europe. Okay, if you are healing through heartbreak, you've had a toxic relationship, a divorce or whatever, you're going to want to be at the course on May the 2nd, because these are the type of things that we have to address, and you have to heal. You got to be able to heal, you have to be able to forgive, and you have to be able to pull the lessons from these type of situations so that you don't accept this again. Some of the things that we go through as women is because we accept, when we see it, we talk ourselves out of it, and we keep accepting that behavior. No nonsense. No nonsense. And let me tell you this as well. Don't give a man, I'm going to do a video titled, is his faith his foundation or decoration? This man right here, his faith was decoration. He used man of God in order to get the women. And we have to understand that there's some men out there that will use faith as a way to get a woman. That's just his game. That's just what he played. Period. And so with that being said, Sugar Lump, you got to stop paying attention to him. You got to look forward to something else. You got to occupy your life, your space, your time. You got to get rid of this anger. Yes, it doesn't seem fair, but you got to get rid of your anger. Okay? You got to forgive this man. And if you still here, I'm going to tell you, if you still here, type still here in the comments, because I know everybody don't watch still here. Let me tell you a true life story, baby, because listen, when I was 19, I dated a youth pastor. Still here? Y'all still here? I'm about to pour some tea. Okay. He was older than I was, right? And I remember watching a podcast and hearing him talk about the women that he dated, and that solidified for me that he didn't care for me. But girl, when I tell you I was so bitter, I was bitter. When I got diagnosed with breast cancer last year, I said, Lord, I'm going to forgive him. There were 2 men that I knew that I needed to forgive, and he was one of them. Because I said, Lord, if you take me out with this cancer, I don't want to be down in hell because I ain't forgive this joker. Do you know, a few days after I told the Lord I was going to forgive that man, I saw that man in a restaurant that I go to. It's one of my favorite restaurants here in Atlanta. I saw him and I felt nothing. That's how I knew I forgave him. And I remember him saying, you know, I love you. I almost love you. And in my mind, I said, this is not the love that's not love. That's not love. I share this with you because you are not the only woman in which a man of God has been a wolf in sheep's clothing. You aren't the only woman that a man of God has done wrong. My girlfriend Tia's mother says there are some people that are better in nature than Christians are in practice. See, Christianity is something that we should, there's fruit, there's a way that we should practice, there's a way that we should show up in the earth, because if God has transformed us, there should be evidence of that. But there are some people that deny the power of God. They don't want to be transformed. They don't want to be healed. They don't want to be delivered. They don't want to be set free. They use Christianity in order to feed their ego, whether it's to get money, whether it's to get women. In religious spaces, who gonna really check this man? Unless everybody closes their doors to him. That's one thing, but there are men whose doors have been closed, and they get online and they preach and they minister. And there are some women that are silly, that are in their congregation, that will give them money and that will give their all and support them. And we got to do better. As women, we have to, and the reason why I say women, especially black women in black churches, that's what I'm talking about, because it's a majority of us going to church. It's a majority of us. So we have to really look at what we're doing and what we're supporting. We'll be quick to turn a blind eye to a man that's sleeping with multiple women in the church and doing all that. We turn, oh, but he's anointed. He prophesied. No, he is not a representative of God by his behavior. Okay. All right. Well, I hope this answers your question. I just want to make sure. As it relates to, and let me say this to you, do not rejoice when God is handling somebody. Okay? I don't know if you ever, like, I remember growing up, and like if your cousin got a whooping and you laughed, your grandparent turn around and be like, you want some? Do you want some? Yes, he may have been ordained and then it was canceled, and you saw it as God sitting him down, but don't rejoice. Ask God for mercy on his behalf. One thing a church mother taught me, I'm gonna call her a church mother, was that when somebody injures you, you pray for them. You pray for them. Lord, heal him, deliver him, set him free. Let him see the error of his ways. Let him get to know you in a way that he's never known you before. Let him experience you, God. Let him hear you. Let him have visions. Let him have an encounter with you. You begin to pray for that person, because when you pray for that person, it's going to challenge your heart. Because in the beginning, you ain't going to want to pray for him. There's some people I pray now like, Lord, I don't like them, God. I don't like them and I don't like how they treated me. But I don't want this on the inside of me. So you pray for them. When you pray for him, God's going to deal with your heart. Now, I'm not praying that you pray for reconciliation, for y'all to get back together. No, you pray that he really gets to know the Lord. That God really heals him. That God really delivers him. And that God save him from the pit. Because that's where he get ready to go if he keep playing with the Lord. Because he's going to come and get something. Listen, there's people, everybody got a day now. The Bible say touch not and do not. Okay? Everybody got a day. There are a lot of people walking around unscathed. I mean, thinking that they're unscathed, but that's because they got a reprobate mind. And one thing about the enemy is that when he get done using you, hey, when the enemy get done using you, he don't care what happened to you. He don't care what happened to you. So him and that woman, listen, you pray them into the hands of the Lord. Lord, you deal with it. Lord, help me with my heart. Help me with my mind. Free me from this, God. Let there not be any more bondage as it relates to me. But God, deliver him. May he get to know you for real. May he fear you for real. So he don't keep engaging with this and playing with you. God, he played man. God, you gonna let this man play with you? You gonna let man play with you and play with your daughters, Lord? Oh, I know you're not gonna do that, God. Be merciful unto him. Be merciful unto him, Lord. So that's all I got. If you want to be featured on the group chat, send me an email to groupchathtns@gmail.com. It can be about relationships, navigating co-parenting, anything like that. And you will be featured here. This is Healed and Sexy. My name is Smithia.